Good morning. Fog's starting to lift. Figured I'd take the opportunity to let the birds out since hawks probably won't be out as much in this fog. Anyway, got a project I'm working on that's completely unrelated to homesteading or farming, really, or anything like that. It's related to something I want for my kid, or rather, something my kid wants. And I got to thinking that there's always a lot of talk about the skills that you have to have for homesteading, skills you have to have for farming. And I've seen people say everything from you have to be a master carpenter to you don't need anything, you can figure it out. I think both of those have their place, but the two biggest ones that come to mind I think are fairly, they're not tangible, but resilience and perseverance, stick-to-itiveness. You're going to attempt to grow food. Live food, well, I guess it's all alive, but meat food, vegetable food. You're taking responsibility for some other form of life. In addition to that, managing everything that it needs, you have to take care of the environment. You have to, and I don't mean that like, stop driving a diesel. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I mean is the environment in which we live, you have to manage it. You have to turn it into something. So where I'm going with this is that you will fail. It is not going to be easy. You're not going to come out here, even on a small plot of land like I have. You're not going to come out here and throw some seeds at the ground and walk away and come back 6 months later and wow, there's food. It doesn't work like that. It takes diligence and perseverance to get things to grow and to keep them growing. And if you don't have the skills to do the things that are needed, that's fine. But you better have the resilience to be able to fail. And then come back. Because you're more than likely going to fail more than you win in everything that you try and do, at least for a while. These trees are a great example. I'm not great at taking care of trees, and we stuck them in the ground and I walked away from them. I didn't water them for the better part of a year and a half because I had other things to work on and I was busy and I forgot about it. She's dead, Jim. But I got that guy down there, and that's going to come back. And so there's probably 100 little examples I could give you of things that we have done that didn't work out like we thought. The chicken tractor is kind of one of them because it does work. It just doesn't really work as well as we thought it was going to, or it doesn't work exactly how we thought it was going to. And we've never done meat birds before, so anything that we get is kind of a success. So take what you can get, I guess. But point being, if, for instance, with this tree over here, if this tree died and I just gave up and said, okay, well, that's that, tree's dead, have a nice day, I don't want to do this anymore because I'm stupid, it doesn't do me any good. It doesn't do my family any good. I'm not growing, I'm not learning. So you have to be ready to fail, and you have to be able to bounce back from it. You know, my wheat that I've got over here blew over in a windstorm. It's not growing. My corn isn't really coming in. But what are my choices? Quit? Why? If I quit now, I can't win. I did not get chickens for the first time and magically know how to do everything. I had to learn it. And so the point of this is that goes back into everything that you're going to have to do, everything that you're going to need to do or want to do on a homestead or a small farm or a hobby farm or whatever you want to consider it. I am absolutely not any sort of a carpenter. I have a job that requires me to sit in front of a keyboard and stay there. But I know how to run a tape measure. I cannot cut a straight line to save my life unless I clamp a piece of wood down and run the circular saw along it. But I know how to do that. And so there are enough resources. There's YouTube. There are, if you're old school, go down to the library. There are books on construction. There are books on farming. There are books on just about everything. Or you can find a YouTube video. I recommend you probably try and do that before you get knee deep in a project and don't know where to go from here. However, failure is not a problem. Failure is always an option. Fail fast and learn faster. And with that, those are what I think like your two main skills need to be. I guess they're not necessarily skills, it's more of an attribute, but it is what it is. Everything else you can learn. Learning resilience, learning perseverance, that's a little harder, especially, you know, if you've been around a little bit. If you're a kid and you have a role model and you've got somebody to look up to who has those qualities, you'll begin to take on those qualities. And so if you have a family, if you're trying to raise a family and raise them up in the way that they will not depart from when they're older, resilience is one of the most important things that you can teach them. Nobody gets ahead because things are easy. People get ahead because things are hard and they choose to persevere. People get ahead because they fail and they come back and they try again. Hope that works. Hope it makes sense to somebody. Hope I can help. I got trees to water. Y'all have fun. Anyway, I guess the main point I'm trying to make is you're capable of learning anything. As long as you have the ability to fail and continue and attempt to learn and grow as you're going through it, you can do whatever you want to do. You will be fine. If you're going to give up as soon as things get hard, maybe this isn't for you. I can tell you 100% for certain that 10 years ago, I could not have built something as well as that is built or as well as the chicken coop is built. That's skills and experience that I've gained while learning and failing.